Hello, welcome to Tweet the Leader New podcast where we chat about realistic leadership theories. On today's podcast, we're going to continue the conversation on having amazing students who is going to be bringing amazing and strategic and amazing ideas to this podcast. On today's podcast, we have Lemuela on to our podcast where she will be sharing her journey of leadership and being very involved. But before we do, I want to check in with amazing guest co-host Megan McNeil. Megan, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. It's really good to have you on board, Megan. These are some very important conversations that we're having with youth students who will be bringing on some amazing stories that they're sharing and some amazing lessons. So we're just going to go into the conversation. Lamuela, how are you? I just want you to state your name and the school that you go to, and we'll start from there.
I'm doing good. I'm Lemuela Ajuwon, and I'm in grade 10, and I go to Sydney Academy.
Awesome, awesome. So the question I want to ask you, Lamuela, is why is leadership important to you?
Well, leadership is important to me because I feel like if you don't know like how to be a leader and like how to be able to take that responsibility and also be able to listen to other people, like whatever you're trying to achieve, whatever goal you're trying to achieve, it just won't work out because you need someone to be able to lead and like um ultimately like be able to listen to everyone's idea and just be conclusive.
For sure.
Awesome. That's an amazing advice, and thank you for sharing that. Kaylin, I know you have some quick check-ins on some questions. Go ahead. I give you the floor.
Okay, so the next question I have is what makes you stand out in your school or community?
I believe something that makes me stand out is I consider myself what you would call a well-rounded student. I'm good academically. I play sports. I volunteer in my community, like kind of like everything. You know what I mean? And this year, I actually won the Student of the Year award twice since last year and this year, which has never been done in the school's history before. So that was pretty cool. So I feel
That's
like
awesome. That's a
I'm
great
I
accomplishment.
consider myself like a compassionate person and I am really, really outgoing. Like if I see that someone needs help, like I will go and help them even though I know them or don't know them.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing. Helping people is very important, and that brings a lot of vibrant to the community. And helping is it brings a lot of energy and all that good stuff. So that's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that.
So, are there any qualities you can tell us of like qualities that would help you become a leader? Maybe three?
Um I would say my top 3 are um definitely determination because there are going to be some obstacles in your way and you have to be able to overcome. Compassion because you don't know who like the people
Yeah.
that might be on your team, you don't know what they're dealing with. Like you always have to be compassionate and show kindness. And another one would be just being helpful, like being willing to lend a hand and also like be humble because you as a leader you don't want to consider yourself as oh I'm this big person like no one can talk to me, everything's like my way or the highway or whatever like that. You have to be able to like humble yourself and be able to be like oh I didn't have this idea, your idea is great, like let's do it that way. So yeah.
R- Right. Being inclusive is very important and it helps people to be involved. And so that's very important. And also, like you said, being humble and being vulnerable in times and in moments in order to show your compassion and leadership is very important. So thank you so much for sharing. We're just gonna shift the conversation a little bit. When it comes down to the importance of standing up for yourself, have you been judged at any point in your leadership time um, for standing up for something that's right.
Yeah, definitely. When I think it was last year or so, when this whole George Floyd thing happened and the BLM movement, obviously people had like some controversies with that, but I like stood up for what like I believed in, which is that my life matters. And of
Mhm.
course, I faced some backlash about that, but like I just persevered because I knew if like someone didn't speak about it, who would? Because you just can't sit quiet.
Yeah, that's very important. That is very important. And sometimes if you're advocating for things, yes, some people will not be on board, but at the end of the day, you have to continue to advocate for something that's right in order to move forward. Wow, this has been an amazing conversation, and it's so good to hear about your leadership. Thank you so much for coming on to share about that. Megan, how was this episode? How are things?
Yeah, it went really well, I think.
Yeah, this is really,
Congratulations on your accomplishments of Student of the Year as well. That's a
Thank you.
really nice award.
Thank you.
yeah, that's the biggest achievement that anyone can make it, and that's really really good that you're standing out in that way, and it's really awesome. So thank you so much for coming on onto the podcast. When you're in leadership, you have to stand out in so many ways. You have to make sure that once you're advocating, once you're standing for up what's right, you have to make sure that all aligns in a connectivity in a positive way in order to show change to people around you. Thank you so much, Manuela, for coming on, and it's been a pleasure. And I look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you so much for having me.